Welcome to another video game based off movie. What we're gonna review right now is the main title of the game, A Bug's Life. A movie that was a huge success. As for many fans that enjoyed the film. The movie is about one ant named Flick who loves inventing stuff of machines to make them do piles of food quickly as possible. Not to mention, the film was a big office success of Pixar's greatest film. About the ant colony feeding the grasshoppers food. But he messes up and they had to get some more food and they had to think of another way. Find bigger bugs and fight back the grasshoppers and make them go away. But turned out to be clowns. Circus clowns. And come up with a better plan by building a big huge bird to scare the grasshoppers away. And you might just see the rest of the movie all to yourself to see how it goes out. The movie is great. It's one of my favorite Pixar films. Despite nobody remembers the film now. But it's pretty good. It's worth watching. Anyways, on to the gameplay. This is the game. You play the only character, Flick, the ant, which in this game you carry different color. You grab the seed, you need to change colors. One turns into a mushroom, other one a helicopter or plant, other shoots out homing berries, and these other plants that shoot out spikes, tall plants, and some other amazing things in this game. And you have to collect all grains in this game. Even you have to use some different berry weapons, especially for using the token and seeds to change their color designs. And not to, what he said, super berries. There's different types of berries. There's like a home berry, green berry, even the golden berry, which is the yellow one, that kills enemies that keep respawning over and over again. And then not to mention solving puzzles and most likely exploring levels in this game. And not to mention Flick doesn't stop talking. Whew! Okay, just give me a second. Yeah, every time he fights an enemy, every time he collects grain, he does this and that. There's a reason why I don't play this game anymore, because Flick never stops talking. Oh yeah, and the plants give you health. Often you have to fight some hidden lives. And you have to beat the game 100%. And so you can get scenes from the movie. I do remember playing this game when I was younger, and both the movie and the game came out exactly the same year. But I only played on the 64 because I could not afford a PlayStation 1 yet. And not to mention you have to use like a flex drill machine. To easily beat up of a few foes, and you have to click enough grain to unlock a few things. Not to mention there's like about, I would say 20 levels of this game. Sometimes some of the seeds will automatically be different in most of these levels. This is a basic platforming, but this game does have most problems. It's Flick's feet. He moves very slippery, especially when he does his slamming attack. Not to mention there's interesting boss battles. Those are pretty cool, I guess, especially the music. I think when you first face Thumper, or the evil grasshopper, in the 64, the soundtrack sounded a little bit different. Not to mention, in the next level you go into, just like the scene in the movie, is in the flower or seed in the glide on the side. And just like in the film, just gently go on the side of those helicopter planes that blow you side to side. But if you touch the ground, the bird will instantly murder Flick. That's not dramatized to the kiddies, isn't it? Not to mention you have to collect the word Flick. Like all these ladders. Kind of like Donkey Kong. You have to collect all the ladders. There's just for that. The next level you end up in a big huge maze, which would take like many players to take like 30 minutes to get through. Because believe me, it took me longer to get this far in. And you have to use like the super golden berry. You have to wipe out all the enemies. Is a bit satisfying, and you have to use that telescope to know where you're supposed to go. Yeah, what Mr. Copycat said. In this game, you had to explore every part of these levels. The longer the game takes, the longer you have to collect enough brain to 100% the game, which makes the game even longer. Or to play for like 4 or 5 straight hours to beat it perfectly. Sure, this might make kids play this game. But at least some other Disney games didn't take this long to get past. Besides Toy Story 2, which I probably reviewed already. Also, the centipede that pops out of the ground did scare me when I was younger, when I played the 64 game of it in level 2. Okay, I was kind of a total wuss back then. And so, like, one guy says, "Bite me." Anyhow, once you get this far into the game, you'll fight a giant bird at last as the main boss. And make sure you got enough powerful batteries to defeat the boss. The next scene takes even longer. You end up in Bug City, and you finally meet the circus character, and you have to do these certain missions, and you have to get enough grains, and you have to use some sort of different types of plants that'll make you go upwards or here and there to collect enough grain just to beat the game almost. Okay, you get the idea. There's just not much else to say about this game, that you're just killing time to get this far in. I do like how they have pretty much the voice acting in the game. And the music's pretty good too. Both of these soundtracks sound a little bit different on this PlayStation 1 and the 64. They play basically the same. But anyways, you still do these side missions. And not to... I almost forgot about the boss battle here. You have to face the fly while the can is still moving. And all the insects are just gone. It's just you and the horsefly guy. It's still pretty cool. I like how everything wants to kill Flick. And every time he takes damage, he just keeps on reacting to them. Also, not to mention one of my favorite... Okay, I just keep on saying that, don't I? In other words, this game is not horrible, it's not terrible. It becomes a bit harder later on. And you do these sorts of puzzle challenges. This one you have to build a bird, which will save you enough time. And cut to the next scene. And you have to do all these side missions to explore these wonderful places here and there, which would take a player a long time to do. Oh yeah, and I could have said this earlier, but the camera is kind of your enemy in this game. And you have to hold down the buttons. The yellow pad buttons if you're playing it on the 64. The camera will just keep on getting close to Flick. It is kind of a problem. And you have to slowly turn it around each time the character moves. And I like how he drops the seeds and kill the enemies with it. That's pretty interesting. And to hurry this up, let's cut to the final battle while you fight a hopper by using your powerful weapons of plants and defeat him and get him to the bird's nest. And there you go, you've beaten the hardest game ever. The reason why I say hard is because later on it becomes a lot difficult, especially when Princess Anna that carries Flick around, and you have to aim your weapon perfectly at the evil grasshoppers. First, just to succeed to the very end, which I'll explain the rest of it in part 2. See you in the next video.